I'm Carrie. I'm the founder of Nine to Thrive. That's a newsletter devoted to helping creators, consultants, coaches, side hustlers, solopreneurs, um, anybody who really wants to build multiple income streams. And I like to say, build a portfolio of paychecks from one newsletter on Substack. So that's what I teach. And that's what I do. And I'm joined today by Margaret Williams, who is just so amazing. Margaret, I'll let you introduce yourself.
I am Margaret Williams, and I'm with the Empowered Leader publication. I spent 39 years as a Army civilian, and out of those 39 years, I spent 16 of those years in the Middle East. 4 years were in Iraq. I was in Tikar province in the south. I was in Mosul, and I was also in the north in Anaconda, where Saddam Hussein was not too far of where they found him in a hole. Okay, then I also spent 2 tours in Israel. The first tour in Israel, I spent in the southern part in Beersheba. And that was like 40 kilometers from Gaza. Okay. So, and then the second tour, I said, no, if I come back, you're going to have to put me in the central. And the central part of Israel was where basically all the affluent people lived. Okay. So there we go. And then other places I just traveled around wherever my career took me. Um, and you, Carrie, it's just amazing that when I met you, I'm like, wow, it's just something about Carrie. It's just, she's my sister. And then come to find out that we're both from Detroit. Grew up in Detroit. I'm like, how can that be?
Yeah, I mean, I always like to say, like, Margaret and I met, we had a delayed meeting because we were probably miles from each other growing up. We went around the world, both of us, because I joined the Peace Corps. I was in the South Pacific, and then I've traveled to more than 36 countries. I've lived in Jamaica. Last year, I went to live in Dubai and traveled around the United Arab Emirates and Oman. So, we've come full circle on Substack, which is so amazing. And she's now in a different state, but, we really connected here. And we were talking the other day about how traveling is really so important. And she traveled in much different circumstances than I did. She was in the military, with the Army, and these are all conflict zones, obviously, that she was in. So it was a different perspective. But, she's doing leadership coaching now. And Margaret, the idea came to me, let's talk about culture shock and how, being in different cultures can really give you it can really build you up in ways you didn't expect. And there's some specific things. I just made a list, but we can talk how you want. But maybe you can just share some of what you've learned from travel.
Well, growing up in Detroit, okay, is way different what's in the world. Okay, and I really figured that out real quick. Okay, because if I'm going to make it in the government, I have to change who I am. I have to be like the military tactics. You have to blend in. Okay. If it's green, you want to become green. Okay. You want to do that because no employer has to meet your expectations. You have to meet theirs. Okay. So my attitude is, what can I do? Okay. How can I contribute? When you come with that mindset, anybody's will like, yeah, come over here, come over here, come over here. But if you're just sitting there like, well, I can only do this and I can only do that. Well, you sit there because we got a mission to fulfill. Okay. And that's what you always have to be about. When you know you're going into Israel or Iraq, there's a lot of training, first of all, that you have to do. You have to have the boots on the ground. I was not actually military, but as far as they were concerned, you are. And this is what you're going to do. Okay. We're going to give you a rifle. We're going to show you how to shoot. Okay, we went to a place like in West Virginia. They had us to put us in these cars and show us, when they go into a skid, what to do. I was terrified, all this stuff. And I'm like, I need all this. I don't know if I want to go. But this prepares you for what you're going to be faced with because you never know. Okay. It can come
Yeah.
out of the blue. Attacks come from anywhere. When I was in Iraq, the security guys that had us, they said, you got 15 minutes. You go in there, you take all the pictures you can take, see what you can see, and get out. Sometimes it went that way and sometimes it didn't. They come in there like, they grab you up, they throw you in those hard armored vehicles. You don't say nothing. You say, thank you, Jesus. And here we go. They will take you on the freeway the wrong way and back and forth. And I'm just praying the whole time. And I'm like, Jesus, please help me. And I got through it. Okay. But the thing of it is, you just never know. And every minute can be different. Okay. Because you have your enemies there and you have your allies. And sometimes you don't know which is which. Okay. The government, they have to pay these factions. They're not doing this for free. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing it for free. So you keep your wits about you when you're going to do the job. This is my task. This is my job. You stay focused on that and don't worry about the stuff that's going on around you. Okay? Okay. So during during all of this, okay, we going through these villages, people are washing their clothes in this water, this wastewater. Okay? And I'm like, oh my God. And it just makes you realize all the things that we as Americans just take for granted. You don't
Yeah.
have you don't have running water. Okay. That means that your children, you can see their bones, the kids' bones. And I'm like, oh my God, you're starving your own people. Okay, but there's nothing we can do about it. What can we do? We come in there, the Corps of Engineers, we come in there to rebuild the infrastructure. That's what we were paid to do, our part. Okay, when you have all these operations going on, all these different agencies have their own task and their own mission. Okay, now if we need something resource from you, then we'll get it from you and vice versa. But we're all working together for the same goal. Okay. We can't afford to get involved. Why are we here? All of this. Stick with the mission, okay?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
one
You're getting through there every day and trying to just stay safe.
exactly. And at night, in any given time, we're gonna be hit with more. That's why we're still trying to do our job. Is that gonna stop us? No, because we have a firefighting people to do all of that. We have the Air Force, we have the Marines, we have everybody you can think of. Okay, and if we don't have the resources we need, we just make that call and trust and believe it's going to be there. Logistics, everything is is there. Okay, and the way the mess halls are run, for the soldiers, everything is just, I just, I just in awe with the military. Okay. I'm like, yes, let's go. Okay. Y'all got us on the outside. We got the inside. Now what else? Okay. Be all you can be. And I love that. Okay. Until, you know, the values was not there. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna find something else. I was still going to school in the meantime, okay, because I knew that career is not gonna last forever, and I needed something else to fall back on. And I got into coaching because it was it was it was equal to serving the military, okay,
Mhm.
giving back. And that's what gave me the greatest satisfaction and helping to develop people during my career. All the engineers that I came cross my path. Okay. And so we had to keep each other safe out there. And so we would do is, people have a tendency to, want to be alone and maybe disconnect for whatever reason. Maybe they're going through trauma, maybe they're going through depression. They might be going through some things at home that you're not even aware of. So we always go in and check on somebody. Okay, Sue is not here. Let's go see where she at. Let's go knock on her door, make sure she okay. You never know. Because when I got there, they had us working 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. That,
Wow.
and that was very hard to sustain. So they recognized that we were oversaturated with a lot of stuff. So they said, what we're going to do is we're going to change it to 6 days, 10 hours a day. And that just brought a lot more peace for everybody because it was heightened and
Yeah.
we had to continue. Okay. And during that time also we were building schools and
Mm.
it just gave us so much gratification to have be able to see the children go to these schools. And there was a local sheikh, okay, and we were building a water treatment facility, you know. And but the thing of it is, it was so the magnitude of that thing and how much it cost was
Yeah.
crazy. The money we was putting over there. I'm just saying, okay. And then to have to turn all these facilities over to the Iraqi government, who, how are you going to maintain it? Who's going to train you how to utilize this? How are you going to get the necessary chemicals and things to keep this going? You know, we put in this grid system where you only had 2 hours of light per day. I'm like, I can't even imagine that.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then to have all this stuff ripped out and just like pilfered once we left. Once the president, I forgot what president said. Y'all coming out of there. Once we leave out, and then you tear all this stuff out, it's like, okay, next, move on. Don't even worry about it. You know, because when you're dealing, you have to understand what you're dealing with. Okay. And some things you just can't fix. Like, for example, you can take that beautiful pig, you can put him in a pink suit, all this stuff. That pig is going to go right back to the slop that he loves. Okay. And he don't care how often you dress him up, he going back to that slop. Okay, baby, you stay in the slop. I'm going to go over here. Okay. It's just certain people you can't, I'm just saying you just can't help. And I hate to say that.
No,
I,
it's true. Yeah. I spent a month in Ethiopia and I loved it. The culture's very warm, but there's a lot of problems there. And you see like everything takes 4 times as long as you think it's going to. You know, um, the ways that they're doing things by the way we were brought up don't make sense to us. They make perfect sense to them because they're in a different place. They're in more of a survival zone and trying to get their basic needs met. Where in the US, we have our basic needs met and, we're doing other things, right? Needs are met just like in the military. You guys have the air cover and all the things you need. Needs are met. You can build the thing. But then what happens to the thing once you leave with all that safety net behind you and all those needs being met are gone? So, yeah, that's you know, sometimes you just have to step back and say they're on their path. This is the path that they're supposed to be on and we did something and they rejected it, right? Or or didn't know how to use it or whatever it is. They saw it a different way. So, like, I think when it comes to leadership, it really helps you take a step back and realize even though you think you can control things, sometimes you can't.
that's where the problem is. Thinking that you can control something. Okay. Because
Mm.
when you're done, people gonna go back to doing what they were doing. What were you here for in the first place? Really? We like to slop. Leave us alone. We didn't ask for your help. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Okay? I don't know. But the thing of it is, I had to take the part from it, the good part out of it, and move on. Okay?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yeah, yeah, and that's what I did. Then I I went back to the States for a few years because what they do is when you're an Army civilian, they let you only stay overseas for so long. And I understand why. Okay.
Mhm.
Because it gets ingrained in you. All of these things. You can't unsee what you saw. You can't unhear what you heard. You know, and all of these things. And it sticks with you. And you really don't realize it, even though I'm not in the military per se. I am. So yeah, exactly. When
Sure.
they didn't allow us to handle guns there, obvious reasons. Because if I see something, I might shoot, and the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't. I'm not the type of person you want to have. I don't want a gun. Okay, I just don't want it. It just makes me feel uneasy. But it did feel good to be able to go to the range with the guys and shoot it, and I felt very powerful doing that.
It's
So
because
who knows?
we grew up in Detroit.
Hey,
We know what guns do in Detroit.
that's why I don't have one.
Right, same, I'm same, exactly.
Exactly. So,
So,
yeah.
let me tell you, though, something in Ethiopia, man, it just is with me to this day, and it broke my heart so bad. Um, there's kids out there on the streets begging for money, hundreds of them, and they're sent by their families, I guess. I'm talking little kids, 5 years old, 7 years old, and while they're out there, they sniff glue and get high. Little tiny children, and they're just they're just hustling, begging for money, stealing things, and running with they'll take your phone and run, and then give it to some guy who will sell it for money. It the problem is so massive. I don't even know where you would start to begin. As we come in as Westerners looking at that, oh my God, where are the parents? What is going on here? Little kids getting destroying their brain cells when their brains are not even developed. And how do you? I couldn't see a way to, obviously I want to adopt them all, take them home. You can't do that, right? You just can't do that. Um,
Yeah, I can tell you when I was in Israel, I traveled through Egypt and I went to Greece. I also went to Jordan.
mhm.
Okay. Those kids was all over me in all places, everybody. Okay. They send the kids because they figure, oh, yeah, well, everybody love kids, but I'm not a sucker. I come from Detroit. Okay. You are not getting nothing from me. Get away. Okay, because by the time you're done paying all the waiters and all of that stuff, that money adds up, and then you're buying gifts to take back home to your family keepsakes. Okay, I, while I was on in Egypt, I went down. I paid to go down a cruise down the Nile because I figured that was going to be really spectacular. Get a chance to see all the Sphinx, all the pyramids, all of that stuff, and I did. And I started tuning their asses out. I'm sorry, flat out. Because it was so annoying. I couldn't even enjoy my trip. You always
Well,
get kids here, there. So, anytime you go anywhere, you put your money, your passport on your body. Don't put it nowhere else because you'll turn around, your stuff will be gone. And how you gonna get out that country? Okay?
yeah,
They done took your stuff. You don't know which kid it is. Y'all get the hell away from me. You ain't getting nothing. I'm serious. I was through.
yeah. No, I mean you got to be resilient, right? You gotta strategize and figure out how to protect what you need to protect, given the circumstances.
Absolutely.
And you didn't know
Who
that
else?
about Nile. You're thinking like, hey, this is a pleasure cruise, but no, it wasn't. It was just being inundated with people begging for money and kind of not what you expected. So, but that's a leadership skill, I think, is keeping calm under pressure, being able to adapt to the situation, do what you need to do, and then just, realizing what you can control here and what you can't. It's just like a snap decision you have to make. And I think the more
Absolutely.
you're kind of in those positions, the more it clicks and becomes natural for you. I found
Uh,
like I found I became really calm under pressure overseas. I've been doing it for a long time, but when someone would come at me or something would happen, I'd just be like, "Okay, breathe. There's an answer. It's just got to come to me." So, these kind of things, you don't necessarily have them happen at home, like they do overseas, where you just really need to move quick. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I am always thinking, okay, how do I want to say this? Because my mother always told me, Margaret, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I can say something to this group, and I can say something to this group and this group, all three different ways, and mean the same thing. As long as I get the results I want, what do I care?
I mean, so let me ask you this. I always saw, like, when I traveled to other countries, some systems that really worked great, like not everything was broken and, you know, not up to my standards. I mean, that happens a lot. But then there's other things that you're like, wow, this is amazing. Like in Dubai. I mean, in Dubai is such a safe country. You can leave your purse on the table and your phone, go to the bathroom, come back. It's still there. Nobody's stealing anything. And the reason
Wow.
for that, yeah, and there's a good reason for that. The government is so strict. And you got to remember, Dubai's like 12 million people. So it's not even the size of LA population wise. It's a small-ish place. It's big enough, but um, so there's about 1 million that are Emiratis. They were born there, they were raised there. But then there's 11 million who are from somewhere else. So the laws in Dubai are extremely strict. If you get caught breaking a law, they will kick you out of the country so fast. So there's cameras everywhere, literally everywhere. And, you know, um, just think about it. If you're from, I don't know, there's a lot of people from India or Pakistan there who are working in like maybe a service industry, sending money back to family and their families depending on that. Are you going to really risk stealing something when a camera might be watching you and get kicked
Mhm.
out of the country forever and cut off your support to your family and your livelihood? And so I learned that system worked. It works really well. Um, Nobody steals things there, which is completely unlike anywhere else in the world. I shouldn't say nobody. I'm sure it happens, but you feel very, very safe at all times there.
For a
Yeah.
person like me that grew up in Detroit, I would appreciate that. However, that's not for everybody. I mean, I don't know. But yeah,
Yeah.
I could appreciate that for real.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Some people just don't like being watched, and that's fine too. But I I really found comfort in it as a single woman traveling by myself. I thought it was great. Yeah, really,
Yeah,
really
because
cool.
you're absolutely right. Because people see you by yourself, they automatically look at you as a weak link. But
Yeah.
don't do that. That's where you make your first mistake. I am
Mhm.
not, and you'll find out real quick if I open my mouth.
Yeah, we got a
Okay,
little of the D in us still, so we, kind of send off that "don't mess with me" vibe, uh,
absolutely,
which I do anyway a little bit. Um, but yeah,
exactly. But I still need to be humble. And I still need to be modest because I don't need to go in somewhere like I am, like a lot of people. Okay, for example, I went to China, okay, and because I said I'm gonna walk the Great Wall of China. That's on my bucket list. I did that, but
oh
in
yeah,
the middle of the winter, I was like, oh my god, I should have came in the summer. Okay. Anyway, I did it, and they said, okay, you Americans, you get one plate. Yeah, they say, yeah, they know we overindulgent. We have to supersize everything. I go to McDonald's. She's like, what you want? I said, I just want a regular. I don't want all that other stuff. I don't need all that. All that crap is killing us anyway. Additives, preservatives, processed food.
Oh, yeah.
I shouldn't be even eating it. No, I don't want that. Just small. Okay. Hey. So I asked for when I was in China. I like, can I get seconds? She's like, no, you can have some rice. That's it. I like, oh, okay, I get it. And they lived in small, modest homes, of very small and very modest. And I
Yeah.
was really shocked. And I'm like, you know what? We have to have these huge mansions and that you have to heat up all these rooms. How many rooms are you actually living in? Maybe two or three. The rest of them, you just have them blocked off. I'm just saying. Why do we have all of this stuff? How come we can't take this? I'm thinking to myself, this is a good place for homeless. We can set this up for homeless or people that are,
Mm.
disabled or something like that. Why do we need all these spaces? Why do we need to hoard everything? This is Americans. That's why the people target us because they say y'all like everything and y'all want supersize, so we're gonna give it to you here. No, that's not me. That's them over there. Okay, less
I
is better. That's my always better because I've moved 8 times. Okay. I can't tell you how much stuff I had to move all those times. I just say, you know what? I'll figure it out when I get on the other side. Just move it. Because every time I move, the government pays the packers to come in and pack everything. I'm just sitting there. Okay. Oh, you want this? Hear that? I'm like, okay, whatever. Just pack it all and let's go. Okay. And then some that stuff set in storage, different places. I don't care. The government paying for it. Hey, okay, but
and then you never get to it, right? Because it's in the boxes, it's there, yeah, yeah.
I finally went through all this stuff. Okay, 10
Okay.
foot lockers, and I end up with maybe one or two, and I got some more stuff that I can get rid of. If it's collecting dust, it's doing absolutely nothing. I'm gonna get rid of it because when I die, that'll leave my daughter less things to have to get rid of. When I'm gone, that's just enough
Yeah.
for her to deal with on its own. So I'm like, no, less is better. Period.
I
And
remember
that
when I came back from the South Pacific, I spent 2 years over there in the Kingdom of Tonga, living, like, just so basic. I rode my bike everywhere, got my groceries on my bike, and, um, it's just very simple life. You go to the grocery store there, you got, peanut butter, one choice, and it came from New Zealand, so there's not a lot of choices there, and I remember coming back and I go into, like, the regular store, and I just needed shampoo, and the shampoo aisle completely overwhelmed me. It was like, "What is this? What?" And it was like that before I left, so maybe it had gotten a little worse, but you go in the shampoo aisle, I mean, you're surrounded by two rows of everything, and then, you gotta figure out which one you want, and it is so overwhelming, and, yeah, so I mean, for myself, came to appreciate the simplicity a lot more for sure. Um,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. So when I got into Israel, it was a thing. I had to get the Google Translator. Okay, I go in the store. I don't know what it is. I'm looking for mayonnaise. What is this?
Yes.
Isn't it? It don't have English. It's just okay. So I'll take a picture with my phone on Google and say, okay, you tell me what this is. Because a lot of times I don't want to go ask somebody because most places I go, there's not many people that look like me. Okay, period.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
see me and they say, oh, she's American. She's not a local. And then so they have an issue, and I'm not going through all that. Okay, I'll take a picture, Google a translator, tell me what this is, and if I can't figure it out myself, I'll call one of my crew. I'm like, what is this? Okay, I can't
Yeah.
deal with it. Everything that comes in is in uh Hebrew. I don't know nothing. Okay, so it's all Greek to me, and I have to figure things out. So I have to just
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest challenges too. I mean, I'm glad you said that because, like, I really struggled in the yogurt aisle my last trip to Greece and Dubai as well. I was just like, what is all this? It's not Western products; they're products made locally in the region, and you're like, I don't even know how to start figuring this out. So, yeah, I I just kind of stuck with the basics, things I knew, and tested things that I thought I might think I knew what they were. Yeah. So one of the other things I wanted to um, talk about, let's see here, relationships. Did you form relationships with anybody while you were on the road that were unexpected, or maybe just met a fellow traveler? I mean, you were with you had your team, right? So you always kind of had a built-in network there. Did you have any experiences with the sheikh that you mentioned or anybody else that
Yeah, let's talk about the Sheikh. Yeah, he might had a thing for me because he had 6 wives already. So I guess
okay,
he would make me his 7th wife. I guess I don't know what day of the week I would be. But anyway, I'm like, no, sir, I already have a job with the military, but I am really impressed that you thought, very highly of me. I really did. He was debonair. I'm like, dang, he got a lot of game for a shape. Okay. No, sir, I can't do that. Thank you. And he told us the engineer that worked with us, the area engineer, he said, we will not eat there. Period. I'm not eating there. I'm like, yes, sir, whatever. You the boss. And when we got over there, the sheikh said, you will sit down and eat. And he sat down and eat. Okay? Because
okay,
that owned that village and you don't want to mess with him. Okay? That man said, okay, I will eat. And then afterwards he said, okay, you can go.
yeah. I mean, you got to go with the local customs, right? Yeah,
Absolutely. If you want to live.
yeah. There's so many weird things, like in Ethiopia when I was there. I'm used to. I hate to say it like this, but men hold doors. Men in America will hold a door for a woman when she's coming behind them. Not over there.
No,
Not
I'm
in
going to tell you.
Ethiopia. And
Oh, okay.
they
Okay.
the men won't walk next to you either. You have to walk behind them as a woman. And that's considered being a good woman. So here I am in my heels trying to keep up with them, 10 steps behind. But you got to adapt like you said, if you don't adapt, you're just going to be fighting an uphill battle.
Absolutely. I'm going to give you a couple of examples. When I was in Iraq, the women rode in the back of the truck with the animals. Okay?
Mhm.
You could not ride inside the cab with your husband. Okay? When you prepare the meal, you are not uh, allowed to eat with the men. You have to eat somewhere else.
Mm,
Okay?
yeah.
So to me, right there, that shows their thoughts of women. We are only good for 2 things: procreating and cooking. Anything else, you take care of the kids. You have no service to us. And I got that, but you're not going to treat me like that. I don't care what you do to them. I'm not. I'm not that person. So
Yeah.
there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, when I was in Israel, I experienced something as Shabbat. Okay, you
Oh, yeah.
have the. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I know Shabbat. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I was living in the South, and most of the people there are conservative. Okay, they will not touch anything electrical during Shabbat.
Mhm.
You do everything. You prepare the meal, everything before. Okay, you can't touch nothing. So this one guy came in. He said, "Can you come into my place and turn the TV off?" And I said, "Sir, I cannot." And I left. I'm like, who are you? You're asking me to do that. You should have did that before. No, I can't. He found somebody else to do it. And then one time I was in the elevator with one. He got out of the elevator when he seen me enter. I guess I'm a woman. I guess I'm unclean or I don't know what it was. I'm like, whatever. I'm going downstairs. You can wait for the next elevator if you want, but I'm whatever. And so a lot of these different things are just like, okay, you're in a different country. Don't even try to figure it out. Just do what you came here to do and move on. And that's what I did.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. I just like to get comfortable with some of that ambiguity and try not to I'm a blender inner. So I do that. I will go to a place and at first I'll try to figure out why they're walking 10 steps ahead of me, and then when I learn the reason, I go, okay, I respect your culture and I'll just do that, even though it kind of goes against what I stand for. But you can't solve problems in other countries.
No,
What we perceive as problems, they perceive it as being a very good woman, to walk 10 steps behind a man. But yeah, we don't perceive that so much from Detroit.
no, and you can't look at the man directly. You have to look down. I'm like, okay, all right, okay. Oh, I said, no, that's not me. But y'all, you do you, okay? You do you, and I'm just gonna ignore it, and I'm gonna do me over here. That's
Yeah,
it.
I just think it makes you more tolerant when you're over there trying to see all the different ways of life and how people communicate with each other. Some cultures are very direct, some aren't. Being direct is considered rude when it was just a statement, or an
That's
observation. Then
that.
other countries will just come right out and say, "Hey, you're fat."
And your point, okay? It's not bothering me,
So
so
fat.
fuck
It's like,
you.
well, okay, maybe by your standard I am, but I'm pretty average, normal-ish, maybe chubby side-ish, but, you know, I don't know. It's all in your perspective, right? So,
Absolutely. And the thing is, don't you're gonna sit up and criticize until you walk the mile in my shoes. Don't say nothing because you have no clue. You can't see as far as your nose because you have not seen what I've seen and been through what I've been through. So you have no idea, no clue. Okay?
yeah. Yeah. I know for me, it heightened my ability to read people quickly
Thank
because I
you.
started I started catching on to these things like, "Oh, they're they're doing this way, and there must be a reason for that, that I don't understand." Um, so now here, when I see certain things and certain behaviors from people, I have an understanding that there must be something deeper that's causing that behavior or something. It's just helped me really learn to read people. Just traveling to all these countries and hopefully more soon. Trying to get out of here
Well,
again.
no
Yeah.
comment. Go ahead.
See, you travel under different circumstances, and I travel just because I'm curious about different cultures. And it happened when I was in second grade. I'm telling you, I learned about Hawaii and volcanoes and Polynesians, and from that moment on, I said, I'm going to see those volcanoes. I'm going to meet those Polynesian people. I'm going to learn their language. And I did. Well, I learned the Tongan people's language. They're Polynesian also. Um, and I ended up doing it. But I just have this really crazy curiosity about the world that, that I've been trying to feed my whole life. So it's not done. It's going to be ongoing. But I think when you're put into a situation where it's a whole other ballgame. And my dad also he didn't understand it. He was an Army veteran, also thrown into World War II at age 17, sent to Okinawa Island. And, he couldn't understand for the life of him why I wanted to go traveling. Why would you want to leave home? It's kind of like that. So, but it was second grade, Dad. I can't help it. It was a lesson on volcanoes. Hawaii.
That's amazing. And I'm gonna tell you, Hawaii is on my bucket list, and I'm gonna get there one day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, I like the Big Island especially. It has all the waterfalls off the cliffs. They're just incredible. But all right. Well, anything else you'd like to add, Margaret, before we sign off today?
I just want to thank you, Carrie, for this opportunity and knowing that you and I are from the day we connected for life. Okay. I love you, sister. For real. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for joining me. I love your stories, and it's always a pleasure to talk with you. I feel so great after I speak with you. So thank you so
Likewise.
much. All right,
Thank you.
everybody. Thanks for tuning in. See
Thank
y'all
you all.
later.
Bye
Bye.
bye.